Here we go. All right, guys. How is everybody? I see Musings at Midlife. How are you? Thomas, how are you? How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody had a great Mother's Day. Hey, Alan, how are you? We're doing well tonight. Doing well. Hope you guys are doing well.
We got the live stream to work, so that's a plus.
Yeah, always a good thing when it actually works. So, hey, Michelle, cooking dinner. All right. Hey, Nick, glad to hear you're feeling better. Hey, Mark Finley. Hey, Katie. So glad to see everybody, and glad that we're not having our technical difficulties this time.
She spent pretty much all week trying to figure this thing out. So
so hopefully we won't have any challenges going forward. Thanks, Nick. We are too. I was just saying, I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day. We actually did go see Tracy's mom and grandmother yesterday for the first time since.
Kind of awkward.
Yeah, we haven't seen them since when we left in February.
Yeah.
Because we were on the road when all of this hit. So we're still, Indiana is partially opening, but we're still pretty much staying at home. In case you can't tell by our hair and all that, we're not going to get that cut.
It was almost a hat night, but I thought,
well, my hair, if any of you watch our videos, my hair is just crazy and curly and does what it wants anyway. So now it's even worse. So it's just going to be that way for a while, I guess. I wonder if you guys can tell me if anybody actually has plans for this summer or even, later on in the year that are definitive. We kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about what we're doing and what we see, as far as the possibilities for travel this summer. We have talked to people in New Zealand, UK, Wales, Canada, and everybody, and obviously here, and everybody pretty much everywhere is saying they're going to focus on domestic travel and road trips. And that's certainly what we're going to do. But I want to preface everything with saying, it is a very individual thing, right? Whatever you're comfortable with is what you need to do. We're just kind of going by what we feel comfortable with and what we think.
What we've read.
What we've read, what we see going on. And it's just, we are, of course, like I'm sure a lot of you, so ready to go somewhere and do something. But, it's just, we're not even really comfortable going into the restaurants yet here, even though I think they're at 50% capacity.
Yeah, I think starting today, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, as we've talked about it, we are, Thomas is chomping at the bit. Katie says, love to visit out-of-state family. What state are they in, Katie, just out of curiosity? Hey, Tiffany. Welcome. So, we are so ready. And we even were considering at one point doing one of the trips we're going to talk about. We considered doing it at the 1st of June because I feel it would be very safe, but at the same time, it's the getting there part.
Yeah.
So what we have planned, so you guys kind of know where we are, we actually have Delaware. Oh, and you're in San Fran, if I've got that right, Katie. I may be wrong, but I think that's right. That's not a road trip. I mean,
you can make it a road trip if you want to, but
yeah. Nick says planning on road tripping to Massachusetts, and I think he's in Minnesota.
We're the same way.
Yeah.
We're going to wait till
2021. Yep. San Francisco. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's a long drive, Katie. I don't know.
Good luck.
Yeah. Unless you rent an RV, which is one of the things we're going to talk about today. We are, our first trip is going to be to Nashville, Tennessee, which is where we're from. Or sorry,
Well, she's from
where I'm from, and she lived for
22 years.
yeah.
So I'm pretty much from Nashville.
Yeah. So, you know, we haven't been there since we were there for one night in January, only because we were catching a flight out of there. We had to board our dogs there. But all of like our businesses registered there, our attorneys, our CPA, our insurance.
We still have our doctors.
Our
there.
doctors, lawyers. I mean, everything is still there. And you know, and we haven't been in really 6 months to do anything. So we've got to go. And so we think we're going to go the end of the month, but we will be staying with friends and we will be, you know, hanging out outside, social distancing still, even though stuff just opened up there today.
Yeah.
At 50%. Yeah, let's see. Nick said Ohio, New York, Mass, and Connecticut. Well, I mean, that gives you some stops along the way. So that's not bad at all, Nick, if you're going to road trip.
Thomas antsy to hop in the plane to Dallas since this is nonstop from here.
Yeah, I don't know where you are, Thomas.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Mark, so yeah, I saw on the Facebook page, Mark, where you got Delta kind of squared away. So I'll be curious to see what you do. I know New York's in that, and I think part of Massachusetts, I think. I don't remember what all. So I'll remind me what that looks like. So yeah, so we're going to go to Nashville the end of May. And then, yeah, I know Illinois is, I know Means to Travel's there. Right. Okay. And yeah, the Walters. Yeah, you guys are still locked down till the end of the month. And that's, you know, it could be a blessing in disguise though, because I tell you, from what we saw yesterday on our first outing, you know, we felt like we were going to town for the first time. I mean, what do you think about what we saw yesterday?
People still, you know, they don't want to wear masks. And okay, I get the gloves. I get the whole glove thing because, you know, then you're touching everything else. And I get that. But I mean, at least wear a mask. I just,
yeah.
And there was nobody, I mean, places that we passed, gas stations. I mean, we didn't really see anybody using gloves to pump gas.
Social distancing.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't happening.
It was not happening. Hey, Eric, how are you? How is Louisiana tonight?
She's good at remembering things, just in case y'all didn't know.
I try. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Her skill is actually, she's like the Rain Man of birthdays. So if you ever meet her and tell her your birthday, she will just randomly remember it. It's the strangest thing ever.
Yeah.
Minnesota's on lockdown till the 18th. Wow. Pittsburgh, Niagara Falls, Cooperstown. So you're a baseball guy, I'm assuming. Boston, Plymouth, New York, Philly. Asheville is beautiful. Smoky Mountains are great. Oh, wow, Eric. So you guys are, that's nice. And that would be statewide, so including New Orleans? That's nice. I was worried about New Orleans there for a while.
They got hit pretty hard.
Yeah, they had a hot spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I don't even know where talking about yesterday and what we saw. So, you know, Nashville is on our list in May, and then I think we're going to see how everything is. 25% occupancy. That's still not bad. And then what we are going to do is it'll be a lot of outdoor stuff, right? Where we can social distance. So we typically go to the beach, well, at least once a year, but oftentimes twice,
maybe 3.
Yeah. And typically we go down to the Destin area. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with that. That may be more of a southern thing, but Destin is in the panhandle of Florida, and it's a beautiful area and we love it. And that's just kind of our chill vacation. But this year we are going to do the Outer Banks, which we've done before, but it's been 10 years.
Has it been that long?
Yeah. At least 8.
Yeah, at least 8.
At least 8.
Yeah.
And so if you guys don't know, there is an area in the Outer Banks where they still have the wild horses that, can roam the beach and do, they're just there. So, and you can drive on the beach. You have to have obviously 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And there are houses in that area you can rent. You have to have a permit to be able to go on the beach and all those kinds of things. So it's a little less crowded than, a normal beach. And the Outer Banks has some great lighthouses. There's some historical sites there. The Wright Brothers Memorial is there in Nags Head or Kill Devil Hills, but it's in that area in the Outer Banks. So I think we're going to do that. And we are probably not going to do that till towards the end of the summer, early fall. And depending on what things look like once we finish there, we think we'll drive down to Charleston and Savannah, which I've been to Charleston, but not Savannah. And Trace hasn't been to
No, I haven't been to
either one. But that all depends on what those look like. So if we're not comfortable with those, we will just do the Outer Banks where we can maintain social distance. We'll rent a house. So we're not, we'll be mainly cooking for ourselves and not, in a shared space with folks.
And of course we'll be on the beach. So you can definitely social distance on the beach.
Yeah. And like I said, you can drive there. So if one area of the beach is crowded, you just drive to a different one. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're going to do. Let's see. Tyler, welcome, Tyler. DC mid-June. So Tyler, honestly, I prefer DC in the spring. This one, I think it's the prettiest, but the fall is also okay. Just don't get too far in the fall because it can get cold
and snow.
I don't know where you're from, but I see a Vikings.
So I'm thinking
I think that's a Vikings. If you're from Minnesota, you'll be okay. If you're from the South and you get up there late October, early November, it's going to be colder than you expect it to be. I can say that. But, fall, we love traveling. Most of our international trips have always been in the shoulder seasons, in the spring and in the fall. Because Fort Sumter and Charleston, Nick, we're definitely going to hit that. If depending on what Charleston is like. The Outer Banks are nice, Eric. I don't remember any waterfalls on the Outer Banks, but there is a national forest area, inland.
They may have.
Yeah. So there may very well be some there, Eric. I will look. Minnesota.
Yeah.
Spring. Yeah. Spring is probably the best, Tyler, I would think. Hey, Darian, how are you? Thank you for being here. So we prefer to travel at least internationally spring and fall. Just it's less crowded. It's not as hot. It's just a better time.
It's not as expensive.
Yeah, not as expensive. So all pretty good. Outer Banks, and then the other thing we're gonna do. We've been talking about doing an Upper Peninsula of Michigan trip. But I think that's really up in the air because, while certainly there's some scenic drives and some hikes, depending on where we have to stay, I don't know that there's the ability to social distance as much there. There are some towns we want to see and visit and, if they're open, how much are they open and, what does that look like?
Hey, Esther. That's what we're talking about now, Esther, is we were just talking about some of our summer plans, hopefully summer, fall, traveling around. We mentioned going to the Outer Banks. Possibly we were just talking about the Upper Peninsula
of Michigan.
Yeah. And so, hopefully we can.
Yep. Hey, Mr. Blonde. Yeah, I saw that where the UK is easing the restrictions. I heard there was I've seen that there's maybe been some confusion on what it really means, Mr. Blonde. And on the UK, also, I saw where I think it was Northern Ireland said that They weren't going to have the same rules because now they are going to enforce the 14-day quarantine upon arrival. And the way I read it, it said in a private house or private residence, which means hotel might not work. So you would have to rent, an Airbnb or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to work out. Musings at midlife, Door County. Okay. Yeah. Have a weekend. There you go.
Nick
Mr.
said
Blah.
he was supposed to be in Belfast today.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
we did make it.
Yeah.
We did make it to Belfast, Nick. We were on that trip when all this hit, but we made Belfast and obviously in Dublin and the rest of Ireland and before this hit. Oh, Thomas was supposed to be. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
France. Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mark, enjoy your dinner.
All right. Yep.
Thanks for stopping in.
Thanks, Mark. So anyway, I think road trips are definitely for most people going to be the thing. And for those of you who don't know, we actually used to own an RV.
We're kicking ourselves.
We're kicking ourselves now. We actually sold it a year ago today. So that was a memory that popped up on Facebook.
Yep.
And we're like, oh, nice.
Yeah, nice.
So I think that, and a lot of folks we've talked to, particularly folks with a channel, are looking at doing, van life or RVing around their countries, whether it's, like I said, the UK or New Zealand or Canada. So we are considering getting a van or a motorhome and doing some trips out west. And that we've been some places, but certainly not everywhere we want to go. I mean, we've been to the Grand Canyon. We've been to Antelope Canyon, Horseshoe Bend. I don't even know.
Dead Horse State Park.
Yeah, Arizona. Yeah. So we spent some time in Arizona, Oklahoma, New Mexico. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, we are. So, I think that a lot of people will be looking to national and state parks. So, you're going to have to choose wisely. Obviously, the bigger ones like the Grand Canyon will probably be very crowded. So ones that, maybe are a little more remote and a little more dispersed so that you can, have your own space is going to be the way to go. So, going to places like Monument Valley or, even like Moab in Utah. We have a Jeep that we pulled with behind the RV.
We had.
So we may take that and do that where you can get off road and kind of get out and away from folks. But I do believe that. Oh, hey, Thomas and Sheena, how are you? Thanks for stopping by, guys. We were just talking about New Zealand and how everybody was talking about doing domestic travels even there. So thanks for coming. I don't even know what time it is there, but it was early, I guess. Is it early morning?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
thanks for coming. So yeah, doing an RV trip is really the thing that we feel like is going to be a good thing. You can stay there. You can fix your own meals. You basically sanitize it once and it's clean. You take it with you. So that's the biggest thing that we think will be best. And I think a ton of people are going to look at that. So we're actually on the channel going to be doing a series on RVing because we know a lot of folks have an interest, but maybe don't have the experience. So we've got some of our RVing folks lined up to do interviews with us just to talk about the basics and what that's like. If you're getting a van, that's a little easier because it does fit into a normal parking spot. And depending on what size van you have, you may not even have a shower or even a toilet with a black tank. So you would still do that like you would do a road trip. But if you get a bigger one, where you've got to worry about emptying the tanks and all the things that go on with that. Yeah. We just thought some basic RVing stuff would be, would be the thing to do. Oh, it's lunchtime in New Zealand. All right. Well, hopefully you guys
What are you fixing us?
Yeah. So for you guys who don't know, Jason to Plate, Thomas and Sheena have a wonderful food travel, street food, well, it's food, channel that we love. And they're currently at home in New Zealand, and they've been doing a street food recreation series that's been a lot of fun to watch. So,
Yeah, go check them out.
Mark Walter's World said Marmite. Yeah, I don't know, Mark, if you know Thomas and Sheena, but they're a lot of fun. They're great folks. We actually got to have a chat with them
Via Zoom.
Yeah, via Zoom earlier this week. So we're looking forward to the day that we can meet up and enjoy a meal and maybe a few cocktails together with them for sure.
Mark, the parking thing that keeps him away. Parking the
parking,
RV.
yeah.
Oh, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, Mark, it really, of course we did end up towing the Jeep to do side trips, but you can get a smaller RV that would still have room for the boys. And, I think it's a wonderful experience. We really enjoyed our time in the RV. And for us, if you guys don't know, we're dog people. Yeah. We have three dogs. We have one different one. One of them that was with us when we had the RV passed away, and we have a new rescue. But we actually, believe it or not, drove from Tennessee all the way to, first up to Boston, up to Maine. And then back to Tennessee to Las Vegas with 3 dogs and a cat. And the cat was the best traveler of all, which was the strangest thing in the world.
Oh yeah. He loved the huge dashboard on the front.
He did. And we Mark said luckily he's watching in his office so Joshua doesn't hear how easy it is. That's funny. Well, we got Mark. Ours had a bunk bed, and we used the bottom bunk with a doggy with a baby gate.
A baby gate.
And because our dogs are crate trained, even at home at night, that's where they go. And so they loved it. They stayed it. That was their bed, and that's where they stayed. The big dogs
were on the bottom bunk, and then we have our little Boston Terrier, and we just can fold up her little crate and take it with us. So
yeah. So hey, Travel Best Destinations, can you crate train my kids? I don't know, Mark. I think the boys are pretty good, actually.
You just gotta let them cry.
Yeah.
You just gotta let them get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we are a little bit crazy, Mark, for sure. But the cat, you know what? The first 2 hours was really bad. We weren't sure we were going to make it. And then he settled right in and loved it.
Yeah.
He loved sitting on the dash and just watching the world go by.
Yeah, so that was his favorite spot.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was an awful lot of fun. But I'd love to hear what what national parks or state parks you guys have been to or you're considering. We're looking for recommendations as well. And Mr. Blom wants to know what the best breed of dog is. Oh,
there's so many of them.
So, you know what? We love them all, Mr. Blonde. We really do. We're dog people, but we have a chocolate lab, a Boston Terrier, and a Shepherd mix, and they all have very, very, very different personalities.
That's true.
Nick likes black labs. Yeah. So we had a black lab mix, and he's the one who passed away, Nick. But now we have a chocolate lab. So they're sweet.
Walter's World. Yeah. Mutts can be the best.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. A Wonderfield Life is a good blog for national parks. We'll have to check that out.
Everybody's all about the dogs.
Beagles. Beagles are sweet too. Some of our best friends have a beagle that we love.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just dog people. So unfortunately for us, if you guys don't know, my daughter lives at home with us while she's finishing up college. And so, we have a built-in dog sitter, so we don't have to worry about that. I mean, we miss them, but obviously we know they're very, very well taken care of while we're gone.
And the cat's hers. We don't really see him much.
And we Staffies, Paul. Yeah, I've got a friend who has a Staffy too, who's sweet as she can be.
Yep.
And yes, we actually do video call and try and talk to the dogs when we're
Yes,
traveling.
we do.
Sometimes they pay attention to us, sometimes they don't.
Depends on if they're mad at us or not.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think everybody, guys, is really thinking about. Oh, Mr. Blonde's talking about the Lake District in the UK and the Highlands. Yeah, Mr. Blonde, I agree. For anybody in the UK, the Lake District, and I think you and I have talked about this before. It's really somewhere we want to go, and when it's safe to travel to the UK, we will definitely look at doing a trip there. Let's see, musings at midlife. Oh my gosh, she leash trained the cat, so now she goes camping in the van with her. That is awesome.
Well, a funny story. We did try to put a
My daughter did
leash on our cat, and he just like stepped out and just plopped over and wouldn't even move. So it didn't work. It
did not work.
Funny, but it didn't work.
No, not at all. Not at all. So yeah, I mean, I think that if you guys are interested in RVing stuff and road trip planning and planning national park trips, we got really lucky. Just for anybody who's interested, when we went to the Grand Canyon, those campsites in the parks typically fill up extremely quickly. So if anybody's looking at doing that, I don't know. And that's the other thing. Some of the parks are not open yet. Some are open partially. But when we went to the Grand Canyon, we were actually going to stay at a campground is it Williams? I think that's right outside that.
Yeah.
And I just happened to look on the website again to see if we maybe could get
at least one night.
One night, and we did. We ended up, I guess somebody canceled, and we found a spot, and we're able to camp right there at the Grand Canyon. Saw some moose. Moose.
Moose.
Came through the campground at one point in the evening, and those things are huge.
Yeah.
And and then we were able to walk around and see things without the crowd, and it was really just magical. I think it's the almost the same feeling of when you're somewhere, some city, which we talked about, a lot of us who are on the superheroes page. When you go visit a town that's full of day trippers, and then all the day trippers leave, and it's just you and the locals.
Yeah.
It was that same sort of feeling, and it was awesome. So definitely, if you want to get a campsite in national parks, you need to start looking at that now. Let's see.
Travel best destinations. I've been to a bunch of national parks in the U.S. Zion. We haven't been to Zion.
No, we haven't been to Zion. Olympic, we've been to the Sequoia, the Redwoods.
Oh, we love them.
The Redwoods. We actually talked about at one point. We've done the drive in a car from Seattle to San Francisco. And that is one we definitely want to go back and do in the RV. But we absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Grand Canyon.
Bryce Canyon. Didn't we have something planned? And I don't remember what happened.
That was when we were selling the house.
Oh,
and we had to come back home early.
Yeah.
So, Mark, definitely book now, Mr. Blonde. Is there a way to travel to Jurassic Park? I don't know. Esther, I love Williams, Arizona on the way to Grand Sun. Yeah, tiny town, fun bar. Jerome was also on our list coming back. And we did, like I said, we were actually in the process of selling our house in Tennessee and building one here in Indy. And the house in Tennessee sold in 9 days.
Yeah, 9 days. So we were kind of a little off guard.
Yeah, so we really expected to be out on the road for almost 60 days. That was the out west trip, and I think we were out less than 30.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of spots that we missed. Favorite national parks, Nick, Glacier, Teddy Roosevelt, Black Hills. So Black Hills is one we've definitely talked about as well, Nick. I mean, being in Indy, it's not that far. I have been to both we've been to Asheville and Charlotte. You've been to both, haven't you? Yeah. And Asheville is, Mr. Blonde is great. Have you been there?
The Biltmore?
Yeah. Well, he's in the UK, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Thomas said he has. So yeah, I mean, just anything you guys want to ask us about as far as road trip planning, RV planning, we'd love to get your questions. And what else have we got?
We got a list of questions here.
Yeah, beaches are obviously going to be something that if you can find one that's not that crowded, is going to be a great. A great opportunity, I think. I think anything outside, first of all, we've all been really, we can go outside. You can't go that far for most of us. And so I think being outside and being able to social distance, so lakes, beaches, anything, national parks, or even just, state parks, hiking trails, camping. You can even do, if you're into outback camping. Let's see. Thomas and Sheena. I remember camping on the Great Ocean Road in Australia, koala walking around. Wow. That would be very cool.
Maybe we should get a New Zealand Australia caravan going.
There you go. There you go.
We do have a lot of different places to see and go to.
Yeah, we do. We do. But New Zealand, everything we've seen and heard, New Zealand is a gorgeous country and definitely on our list. Mr. Blonde's planning on going after lockdown. Asheville is a beautiful place, Mr. Blonde.
Yeah.
Just got to do the opposite of the movies. Let's see. An outstanding area of natural beauty, which is run by the Nashville, which is closed for cars now. Oh, nice, Paul. And let's see. I remember, and I've seen your post, but I don't remember exactly where in the UK you are. Zion National Park on the way to Vegas. Yes. Deirdre, have you attempted? We have not. We talked about that, Deirdre, but we did not do that. And I wonder if it'll be even worse this year than normal. I know, I forget how many it is they'll let get in. And I think they even offer some, like you can show up and get some entrances that day. We did not know all the rules to that before we headed out that way. And by the time we looked into it, we felt like it was not going to happen for us.
Yeah.
Gettysburg would be great, Nick, as well. Download a GPS audio guide. That would be awesome. It really would. And one of the other things we're thinking of this year, and I know Mark and Jocelyn have done this. I don't know who else on here has done this, but we are, I'm not going to say that right, Shropshire, between Wales and Birmingham. Okay.
Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. Are they in Birmingham? They were. Yeah, that's funny. It was based in. Anyway, we're hoping that Canada, the Canadian border, opens at some point this summer or fall. And if it does, we want to do Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. Well, Banff is different.
Yeah.
So hold on.
Okay. I'm getting ahead of her.
She is. Well, because Nova Scotia's here and Banff is here.
I got you.
So we're hoping to do the whole a ring around Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. We hope. And then the other piece of it is to go around the Lake Louise and Banff area. When we had the RV, Tracey, tell them what you wanted to do.
I wanted to do the Trans-Canadian Highway.
Yeah. So she wanted to drive
all the way across,
which, oh my gosh. I don't know how long that would take or how expensive that would be. It would be fun. But
would it really be any different than driving from east to west coast in the States?
No, but we didn't drive completely east to west.
Close enough. Yeah,
we were like 2 states over. We were. So that is, so, if any of you guys have done Banff, I know they rent vans around there. And there's somebody in, on the Walters Road stuff that I think lives near there. Is it Sue? Somebody. And so I want to get some more information about that. But if anybody's been to the Banff area, I'd love to hear how you did it and what that was like.
The
Mr. Vaughn.
Alaska Railroad.
The Alaska Railroad, yes. So
Yep.
Alaska's somewhere as well. We talked about doing an RV trip, Nick, but you have to plan it just right. Like you can't go until the end of May, and you have to be ready to be back at the end of September. And they say when you do it as in an RV that you should make sure you do it with somebody else, just because of obviously the remoteness. If something goes wrong and the roads are horrible, they say make sure and bring spare tires and know that your windshield is going to get busted and just all kinds of crazy stuff. So that would be that, but that would be awesome.
Peaky Blinders, yes, it is an awesome, awesome show.
Yep. Eric, Minneapolis all the way to Winnipeg is the option. Wow. Northeast, Maine, Boston, and again. Vermont is beautiful, Eric. It is. And Maine is beautiful.
Yeah.
Looks like you've been to Boston before. But yeah, Vermont is a beautiful, beautiful state, as is New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire was the one that really
surprised us. What we did, my daughter went to school near Boston, and we went up for Mother's Day weekend, or Mother's Day. I'm sorry. We went up for Parents Weekend, and it was in October. So we drove from Nashville to where she went to school, was kind of like, it was about an hour and a half from Boston, an hour from Providence, Rhode Island.
It's kind of between them.
So we did the Parents Weekend, and then we drove on up into Maine.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Maine first and did, Acadia and Bar Harbor and all that, which was just stunning that time of year. And then back New Hampshire and Vermont and New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did Rhode Island as well, because I know that Mark Finley's talking about maybe he was looking for stuff to do, and we were talking about some things we did there. The Trans-Canadian would be unreal, as would Trans-USA. How long would you be happy with one van trip?
Being with one. Yeah, he put down here being
with one.
Yeah.
I
mean, I guess it just depends on.
It really does. I mean, we were out for over 30 days in the RV with no issues.
Yep.
So for us, I mean, I think that's the thing, though. We owned it instead of renting it. So you get to a place where if you're renting it, how expensive is that for that length of time? I don't know.
Yeah.
It would get pricey, but I mean, it would certainly be pricier than staying in one place and renting an Airbnb. But if you were hopping Airbnb and paying for gas in your car or flying or train, it really would be about the same.
Plus, if you're in a van, you have all your stuff there, and you don't have to keep packing it up and moving it around. So.
Yes, that is absolutely one of the biggest pluses, I think. I mean, there were times even where when we were driving and it was just really a drive day, and wherever we were stopping was just overnight, we wouldn't even, fully set up anything outside. I would actually put like something in our Instapot or crock pot and let it cook while we were driving. So when we stopped, we had dinner ready, we could eat.
And that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Especially if it's just a one nighter.
Yeah. We could eat, crash, and then just get up and go the next morning without really having to worry about anything. So,
Eric Brown,
Eric 43. Yeah, Eric, I think we're close to that as well. We have not been to Hawaii or Alaska, and there's a few, the Dakotas, Idaho,
like the Northwest kind of.
Well, we've been not the Pacific Northwest,
right?
But yeah. So I think we're at about the same number. New Hampshire and Vermont, Nick. New Hampshire and Vermont are breathtakingly beautiful in the fall. I did a road trip. Yes. The fall colors, Nick, there were just.
And we got some awesome photos.
We did. We got some really, really great photos. I mean, it blew us away. And of course, what we did in Vermont, one of the things we did was go look at all the covered bridges. And if you guys don't know, here in Indiana, actually, there are a lot. So that's one of the things we're thinking about doing here as well, is just doing like a a covered bridge tour because we can get to them about an hour and a half to the
Yeah.
area where most of them are, and doing that. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Mr. Blonde, what's our favorite place to go in Europe?
There are so many cool places in Europe.
There are, and there's so many we haven't even been to.
So we don't even know.
So yeah, I mean, so we had some of Eastern Europe and Scandinavia planned for the trip that we ended up having to come home early from. So we haven't. There's a lot of those places we haven't been.
Of course, right now, I mean, I always say
Florence.
Yeah,
Florence is
my
our
favorite is Florence.
I
Italy.
love Florence. I love Italy, but I think for me personally, my heart is in Ireland. It just is.
Well, yeah, I love Ireland too.
Ireland is just beautiful. I mean, the cities are fun, but I think the people are so warm, and the natural beauty. And in case you guys didn't guess, I've got a little bit of Irish heritage, so
Just a little
that
bit.
probably makes me just a little bit partial, but I just love it. I mean, it is definitely one of those places where I could go back again and again and again. And not even, I mean, there's beauty everywhere,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't even really care where, as long as there was a decent pub in town and we could sit around and and talk to the locals. I think I would be perfectly happy. India, Goa, India. So, Mr. Blonde, is that where are you Indian? I think so. India is on our list. We have not done that. We haven't done Asia either. We've been talking to, we were talking to Thomas and Sheena and telling them we needed help getting more adventurous in some of those places. Do Alaska, skip the cruise. Yes.
Yeah.
Kathy, and welcome, by the way. Definitely. We've done some cruises. We've not done the Alaskan cruise, but our plan is to do Alaska, without the cruise. Hold on. I think I'm skipping some, or we had a bunch come in all at once.
There we go.
Darian, we need a Gallivanting Gals and Friends trip to Germany. Yeah. I mean, I would love to do it. Darian, we're in Cologne just for a day. We've done Berlin, loved it.
Munich.
We've done Munich.
Rothenburg.
We did Rothenburg. We also went to
St.
Wiesbaden.
Wiesbaden.
However you say it. Because she's got a friend. Tell us.
My high school German teacher lives in Wiesbaden now, and so we met up with him. Of course, I hadn't seen him in I won't say how many years, but yeah. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah. So we did that for a night. And we did try and do like St. Gorhausen on the Rhine, and
that wasn't a good hotel experience.
No, that was a horrible hotel experience. So we rented something. I think we were using points, and everything looked fine online, and we booked it, and we pulled up, and it was like, we went into our rooms. This was a trip our daughter took with us. And I mean, there was mold
around
everywhere.
The carpet on the bottom.
All around the carpet. And there was carpet in the bathroom. I mean, which obviously is full of mold. And it just did not smell good. It was not clean. It was just not good. And we couldn't find anything else near there. So that's when we left and went to
a Best Western outside of.
Well, that's when we went to see David Brown.
Well, it is, but we stayed. Where'd we stay? I can't remember.
Mainz. Mainz. Yeah, is that right?
That sounds right.
I think that's right, Dan.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. Anyway, we would love to do that, and if you want to talk about doing that, we would be happy to do that. Thomas said anywhere by train. I agree with that. There are some trains, of course, we don't have the trains that other places do, but there are a few train rides here in the U.S. and Canada. The Trans-Canadian Railway would be awesome instead of trying to drive all that, Tracy. Mr. Blonde, tie between Ireland and the Netherlands. I like the Netherlands too.
Yeah.
Small RVs to rent in Alaska. Yeah, Kathy, definitely would do that. Ireland is awesome. Yeah, Mr. Blonde.
Thank Mr. Blonde.
Just a little bit. Let's see. Eric Brown, Prague. So
Prague,
Prague
that's-
was on our list. We haven't made that yet,
Yep.
Eric. We definitely want to do that. Yeah, Thomas, I think I remember you are a big train guy. And, we've done some trains, obviously, in Europe and want to do more. And like I said, I know Canada, Alaska, and then there's some, like, I think there's like the Glacier Express that hits up north Montana and Idaho and all that. So there are some here. Pakistan. Okay, I couldn't remember, Mr. Blonde, if it was India or Pakistan. You love India. Cool. Well, you'll have to give me some tips then on what I should eat and how to be safe, Mr.
That's
Blonde.
our biggest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, not really knowing what we're eating.
Yeah, the food thing, we're not that adventurous on food. Singapore would be great. Nick, I'm the same way. Murphy. County Cork, Lifton. So funny, Nick, my family is from County Kerry, and the last record we have is 1853. But I've kind of hit a roadblock, so I'm trying to do some research on that. Ryan says some of his is from County Cork. It's definitely Irish, Ryan. We could tell that with your last name. Hello, L. Janine Davidson. How are you? Good to see you. Mongolia. Okay, sell me on why I need to go to Mongolia, Mr. Blonde.
Are you taking me with you?
Well, I don't know. He said you guys, so yeah, tell us why.
You said tell me.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, well.
Thomas says, turn me loose with a Eurail pass and I can go nuts. Yeah, we have not done a full Eurail pass. We've just planned specific legs. That is something that we want to do as well. I think having that freedom really to just kind of decide.
Yeah.
And it took us a while to, I think, get comfortable not having everything so pre-planned out. But
we've gotten better about it.
But these days, getting over there and saying, okay, well, we want to stay an extra day here, or maybe somewhere wasn't as interesting as we thought it would be, or whatever, to have the flexibility.
Yeah, our first Europe trip we ever took, we planned out everything. Every day, everything we were going to see, how long there were a couple of things while we were there that we ended up not going to see or canceling because it just didn't pique our interest.
Yeah.
Or we were too tired, actually.
So that's
too much.
Plan too much at once. Gallivanting Gals, make sure to Google
Garmisch, Zugspitz, and Lake Eibsee.
Didn't you do, I think, Darian, did you do a Instagram story or a video on one of those or all of those? I have to go look and see, but we will look them up for sure. L. Janine Davidson, yes, trains would be great.
Yep.
No Canadian until November. Are you saying Canada won't be open till November, Thomas, or you just couldn't do it till then? Empire Builder, Montana. Have a bad gut. Okay. I can always help with the food stuff. Okay, Mr. Blonde, we're going to take you up on that.
Yeah.
County Cork and County Kerry, they're beautiful areas.
Yes.
Hey, gals, not going to stay for long. Okay,
Thanks for
Elgenie,
stopping in.
Thank you. Irish roadblocks are definitely. Yeah, we were 1922. Go back 4 generations. Yeah, Nick, I'm stuck at my great-great-grandfather. Yeah, Thomas and Sheena will have to meet in Asia when it's safe.
That way you can tell us what we're eating.
Yeah, they'll take us out for food. Just remember, no chilies for me. You can give her all you want.
Yeah, all the spicy stuff you want to give me, but not her.
Yep. Mongolia. Traditional feel is awesome. Mongolia throat singing. Yes, I have seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Not overridden with tourists, and people are lovely. Nice.
Also the horses.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Okay.
We'll check it out. Let's see. We just had a jump. Canadian, the train. It's not totally free. Right. I knew that about you need to book seats with the Eurail passed. You still have to book seats. Hey, Scorpio Sue, how are you?
See, the train will not be running in Canada until November.
Oh, really?
Wow. Okay. Well,
we won't be doing the train. I don't know that I want to go
drive.
We could drive it if the border's open.
Yeah,
That's the other thing. I don't know when they're going to open the border. I don't know. Nick's talking to Mr. Blonde about a South Park episode about Mongolia. The Canadian train from Vancouver to Toronto. Scorpio Sue, since you're here now, remind me where in Canada you're from. Are you close to the Banff area? The Great Wall was built because of the mama. I love that Gen Xers are doing travel videos.
Woohoo!
Thanks. Yeah.
We thought we'd try it.
Yeah. Tried to anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know how well we're succeeding, but you know what? We're having fun. So
That's right.
That's really all we care about. So
That's why we're doing it.
It is. It is. But yeah, remind me, I think it's you, Scorpio Sue, that's from Canada. I know it is. I just don't remember what part. So yeah, and I think that, you know, there's a lot of options out there, guys, and it is, you know, it's really going to be whatever you feel comfortable with as far as where you go this summer. You know, I think everybody has a different tolerance level. I mean, if you've got somebody in your family who maybe is immune compromised or anybody that's high risk, I mean, you know, do what you think is right, because it's just going to be different for everybody. For us, I mean, we are playing it pretty safe. Like I said, we know the beach trip we're planning. We know we can do that and be safe and take the precautions. And if we rent an RV, you know, as long as we can get it sanitized down before we take it out, then we'll be okay there. It would be no different than being at home. So, let's see.
Oh, she's in Illinois.
You're in Illinois. Okay, it's not you. Who is it? Sorry, Scorpio Sue. I apologize. There is somebody that is from in Canada. El Janine, you ladies are great. Can't wait to go to Ireland. I'll set the reminder for Mondays at 8. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben. Hi, Ben.
We were just talking about Italy.
We were just talking about Italy.
We have been.
We have been to Italy. We've been to Florence. We've been to Venice. We've been to Rome. We've been to Pompeii. We've been to Sorrento. We've been to San Gimignano. We've been to Siena. And is that it?
I think so.
Yeah. And we loved it. We loved every bit of it.
And I'll say it again. Florence was my favorite.
Yeah. So they're all great.
Yes.
We absolutely love Italy. Actually, our first trip to Europe, my daughter went with us, and we were going as soon as she got out of school. So it was the first part of May. So I decided to start south and work our way north just to try and, you know, beat the heat a little bit. So here we are. We've never been to Europe at all, and we don't speak. I speak just a tiny bit of Spanish, and Trace speaks just a tiny bit of German. Obviously, we try and learn, you know, a few phrases, please and thank you, and those sort of hello and those sort of things. Everywhere we go. And speaking of, if they're still here, Thomas and Sheena with Chasing a Plate, I've noticed every video they
know something.
They know it must be please and thank you and or something. At least those words in every place we've seen them go, which I think is just awesome because we try really hard, but it doesn't always work for us. But Italy, so our first trip, you know, it really was like the country bumpkins come to town. And, you know, we decided that our very first place to go would be Rome. And I don't know why, because if any of you guys have been to Rome, you know, it takes a minute to get adjusted to all the craziness if you've never been there and never or been anywhere where the scooters are like they are. And we rented an apartment, which was great. It turned out to be perfect, but
we didn't think so at first.
We didn't. I mean, it was on, you know, a back alley, cobblestone alley that was not very wide. And the we had arranged for a van to pick us up from the airport, and the van could not fit in this cobblestone alley. So he really just dropped us off at the entrance and said, okay, just walk around the corner there and somebody will be waiting to meet you.
Yeah.
And this is after flying overnight. We're dragging all our bags and we're all just looking at each other like, oh my gosh, what have we done?
What have we done? Actually, it was, what have you done?
Yeah. And all these scooters are, all around honking, and people are kind of, it was just crazy. But it was Rome, and it was wonderful, and we enjoyed it. And
but we love Italy.
We absolutely love Italy. The Amalfi Coast, we did do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about crazy driving. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We talked about some of our driving.
Yeah, some of our driving. But yes, we have we love all of Italy. We really do. I think it's all different. Every place has a different personality. I do feel like maybe I don't know, Northern Italy. Northern Italy may be a little more relaxed and maybe a little more friendly. Not that we've met anybody unfriendly in Rome. It's just they just seem a little warmer. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. So
the only thing I would say about Italy, especially Rome, is you got to watch out for the taxi drivers.
Yeah,
I had a bad experience with one, but
yeah, you will see a lot of the gypsies, and you will, make sure if you do take a taxi that it is a legit taxi with a meter, and because they will try and scam you. I had one who had a meter, and I paid him. I gave him basically a 20, and he gave me change for a 10, and I tried to argue with him, and it didn't go well, and I wasn't going to push it. But anyway, we definitely love Italy. Let's see, what else have we got? We missed a few.
Scorpio soup. The soupli. Yes, we actually tried soupli on our fall trip in Italy for the first time and loved it.
We did. Absolutely loved soupli. Let's see. Thomas says he's high risk, feel need to go. Well, please take whatever precautions you need to, Thomas. It's a personal choice.
Yeah.
Musings at Midlife, Italy is amazing. Soupli, yeah. Rome, Florence, Bologna, yeah, they're on your list. They're awesome places to visit.
Yeah.
Scorpio Sue. Paul, Canada in the back of my mind. Grandmother on my mother's side lived there for 20 years. Okay, yeah. Canada, we haven't spent any time there, so we're really looking forward to that. Musings, Florence, Dizzy Lizard. Hello, Dizzy Lizard.
Hello. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for joining. Nick, Google Translate. Oh my gosh, Nick, I don't know if you were here on the crazy travel stories we had, but we were in
France.
I'm in Spain.
Oh, Spain. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazier than France.
So in Barcelona last fall, we got caught in the protests. Like we were leaving to try and get to Madrid. We had no idea that what was going on about these protests. And like I said, I speak just a little bit of Spanish. So, I greeted the driver and I could say like, "¿Qué pasa?" What's going on, what's happening, meaning what's all the, why are the roads blocked? Well, then he started speaking to me and I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm like, no. So we had to communicate via Google Translate, but he was driving and trying to get around these protesters. We've got a video on that video's out on it, Nick. If you go check it out, it was crazy. But yes, having Google Translate definitely was a lifesaver in that situation to at least understand what was going on. We still missed our train, and Tracey broke her toe. Literally, she broke her toe. Because we had to get on the subway. But watch that video if you can. Eric, the alleyways in Rome are wild. It's hard to not. You know what, Eric? We love it though. I think that's one of my favorite things about really anywhere in Italy specifically are all the alleyways and just walking down them. And sometimes those have been our best travel experiences. Finding a restaurant or a cafe, just walking down those little cobblestone. Narrow roads has been interesting. Let's see. Be careful with street food, but India. Whoops. Hold on. We just had a big.
Yeah.
But India's awesome. Diverse for food. You must have biryani and butter bread, pompadons, the curry. Be warned, it's spicy. Yeah. So Tracy likes spicy, but I don't. I'm not a big. I can't do spicy. India drivers are scammers. Crazy. Yes, I've seen that. Unless it's for a cow. Mr. Blot, we've seen videos of just the cows just wandering around.
Yeah.
Katie, what about butterfly zoos?
Okay, Mark.
Mark, what are you drinking tonight? I don't know what you're asking, Mark. I'm sorry. Kathy says, India, actually kind of cool. Oh, and went to one in Ecuador and one in the UK. Okay, we've never been to a butterfly zoo. Yeah, so that's interesting. Thomas balancing act.
Yeah.
Yeah, issues are, yeah. I'm sorry about that, Thomas. I hope that you definitely stay safe. Nick, similar experience in France. Great conversation. He was from Africa. Yeah, that's awesome, Nick.
Do you do any day tours or do you do things mainly on your own?
We do both.
Mainly on our own.
Mainly on our own. One of the things that, and we've talked about this before, as cheesy and touristy as it may be to some of you seasoned travelers, one of the things that we like to do, at least in the major cities, when we get there for the first time,
is we take the ho-ho bus, the hop on, hop off bus.
Yeah, it really, you can do all the research in the world, but until you get there and see it and see how things are laid out, you may find something that is of interest to you that you didn't know about or you thought wouldn't be of interest, and then some of the things you maybe thought would be interesting turn out to be not so much. Like a perfect example, I don't know why I had in my head the first time I went to New York, I wanted to see the bull on Wall Street. Until we went by on the ho-ho bus and saw, it's just a bronze bull, and the line was just ridiculous. And I'm like,
so she took a picture of it from up on the bus, and we're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, so, and the other thing is it gives you an idea, really what areas things are to help you really plan your days better. Because what we'll usually do is create a list of maybe, let's say 5 depending on how long we're in the area, maybe 5 must do things in an area, and then 5 kind of would be really nice to do, and then 5 of, it'd be interesting, but no big deal if we don't do it. It may not be 5, but that just is an example. And then when we're on the ho-ho bus and we figure out where things are, that helps us really plan what all we can kind of get done of the things that have been on our list and where they are.
Yeah.
So we always do that first. And then
for somebody being directionally challenged, as I am.
Yeah.
Of course, I normally don't worry about it because I've got her, but in Google Maps.
Yeah. So that's what we do. And then there are times that we will do day trips depending on where they are or what they are, how difficult we feel like something might be to navigate or what we might miss. But usually after the ho-ho bus and just getting the lay of the land, we'll do everything ourselves. We did buy like skip the line tickets for things like the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower and things like that, but no, and the Vatican, we had a tour, a nighttime tour that, was smaller crowds for that. And that worked out well. But, other than that, I mean, we do a lot of it on our own. Yeah. Let's see. Eric took the ho bus in Rome. Yeah. Rome was not our favorite, but we've done it. Mr. Blonde says, wait, hold on. Yeah. Do you do it? Oh, Mark says ended up wiping mashed bananas on your clothes.
They come land on you. Sorry, random thought of the night. That's all right.
Nick, I had my first curry in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. Could not stand the spice. So it wasn't that big of a deal. Glad to try it. Yeah. I think Nick curries come kind of in all different spice levels and heat levels and different flavors. So you might still find one you like, depending.
Yeah.
Hop on, hop bus are
Yeah, a lot of
awesome.
people take hop on, hop
Eric.
off.
Yeah, Eric, our favorite. Rome was not our favorite one, but it was a good one. Great for people visiting for the first time. So yes,
Yeah.
it's starting to. I don't know what's going on. Are you guys still around?
There might be a little bit of a delay.
Blacked out, so let's make sure.
Yeah.
Let us know if you can still see us. It looks like we're still live.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Paris.
Yeah, Paris has an awesome ho-ho bus. I mean, they do because I mean, if you can get on there, of course you have the headphones but theirs is just really, I don't know, just informative, and it takes you past everything you could possibly want to see in Paris.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's my favorite. And even though we did it the very first time we went to Paris, even when we went back to Paris, we took it again. So
yeah. So we definitely, we enjoy them. It's one of Tracy's favorite things. Let's see, where did we go? Eric took the hoe bus. Mr. Blonde, Scorpio Sue, didn't think about it, just saw our videos. Thanks for watching.
Glad you got something from it.
Nick said first thing was Churchill War Rooms. Yes, so we've done that. It was awesome. Yep. We did that in Westminster Abbey the same day, so that was really nice. Did you know that the Russian Republic of
Kalmykia?
Part of Russia is the only majority Buddhist republic in Europe? No, I did not know that. Mr.
Well, between
Blonde.
Butterflies and that, you learn something new every day.
You do. Mr. Blonde is full of facts. Tiffany Mitchell, hoe buses are smart, great overview. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Mr. Blonde, you're full of yourself tonight, Mr. Blonde. Or I guess it's, what time is it there? It's like 2 a.m. over there, I think. Alan A. Butterfly enclosures in Gainesville. Don't talk about Gainesville if Jocelyn is around.
Well, that's what she said. Leave the bulldog clothes at home.
Yeah, that's right. Travel best destinations. Hop on, hop off. Normally pay $10. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. Samosas. All right, in India. All right. Still here, freeze. Katie says we're all good. Lagged. Hopefully we're all good now. Big Ben Tower, yes.
Yes, we took the ho-ho bus in Dublin also, Thomas. And
yeah, we like that. And they're talking about London and the sound of Big Ben. And yes, they're still doing the construction on or restoration. We did something that was really awesome. The last time we were in London, we did the London Eye, and we did a timed entry. So I looked to see what time sunset would be. And the time entry, I think, is like you have an hour time frame to get there and get on. So we got there, and we made it, perfect timing for sunset.
Coming around.
So we got some great sunset shots over Big Ben and Westminster, and it was awesome. So if you want some great sunset shots there and want to do the London Eye, just try and get a time. If you can do a timed entry, that would be awesome. And then I don't know when the restoration. I think the restoration is still supposed to be going on. I think for a couple of years. Somebody in the UK may be able to tell us. Spain, quite good. Highlight of the trip, good. Waiting to end my fast. Oh yeah, because it's I'm not going to say it right. Ramana, I don't know how you say it, but yes. Eating something before going to bed allows me not to be incredibly hungry. Well, I'm glad. Thank you, Mr. Blonde. Couple of years. Nick said couple of years. It's out of
Okay.
commission. Yeah, I thought it was 2021 or maybe something like that. So, all right, guys. Well, I don't know. Do we have anything else on our list we wanted to make sure we talked about? RVs and camping, borders, beaches, national state parks. Oh, yeah, and just so anybody who wonders, if you haven't been keeping up with this, Ramadan, yeah, I'm saying it right. Thank you, Mr. Blonde. Hampton Court, I haven't done that, Scorpio Sue. That was on our list, and we're definitely going to make that when we can. One thing I did want to talk to you guys about too, though, for those of you who just feel like you have to maybe get out and get somewhere, I don't know, a little different than home. At least for those of you, well, in Europe, what I'm seeing is Greece is trying to make a push to be open by July 1st for tourists, some areas sooner. And Croatia, I think and I don't, maybe Montenegro, but I'm not sure. They're talking about opening up like a tourist corridor. So there'll be like a specific area that if you're not from there and you want to, travel, you would still be able to do that. And of course, the catch with all that is you got to be able to have the flight and, get there. And I don't know what all the airline schedules are right now or when they're going to pick back up. So, it may be harder to get there. The other thing is that I think I read where a lot of the Caribbean is trying to open up in June and July. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So just so anybody knows, I mean, like I said, personally, I just think that we're going to stick to whatever we can do or we can drive, just because we're just going to feel personally more comfortable with that right now.
Yep.
Whether that's, renting an RV or us taking our vehicle and then, staying in one place, and likely, an Airbnb, VRBO type place where we can cook our own food, sanitize everything once and know that we're good. So that's kind of what we're thinking. And other than that, I mean, I think that's kind of all we've got right now tonight, guys, unless you have any more questions for us.
Oh, Nick said that he just Googled about Big Ben.
Oh.
And it's supposed to be done this year.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Nick says craziness isn't worth it for international travel. That's why I'm sticking to 2021. I think we're the same, Nick. I know we're the same. So I think that's all we have for tonight, guys. I thank you so much for being here, and
we appreciate it.
Yeah, and we'll come up with some stuff for next week. If there's
come up with some questions for us.
Yeah, if you've got questions or a topic you want us to talk about, let us know on the channel, on the community page, or in the comments here, Facebook. Just let us know. And a lot of you guys, I know we'll see Wednesday night, but thank you so much. Bye, Mr. Blonde, Alan, Darian, Sue, Nick, Katie. We'll see all you guys. On Wednesday, I think. And I don't know if Thomas and Sheena are still here, but thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for dropping in.
Mark, thanks again. Musings at Midlife. See you on Wednesday. Ryan, thank you. Dizzy Lizard, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it, guys. And we will be back next week. Bye, y'all.
See ya.